This is a book review of Harish Johari's Breath, Mind and Consciousness. First, I happened to discover this book as part of my reading on the female menstrual cycles, and I wanted to know if the mind and breathing can actually bring out any practical and accessible solutions, which is when I happened to chance upon this book. But before that, the breadth of work that has been done by the late Harish Johari is he has worked on astrology, numerology, and his works in painting has actually brought about a new something called as the Harish Johari's form of painting, which is there in the website of Sanatan Society. If we see an image of Ardhanarishwara, Shiva and Shakti, the right side of the body is basically the masculine principle, Shiva, and the left side of the body is Shakti, and the feminine or the creative principle. My friend Radhika explained this image in a very accessible way. The left brain is basically controlled by the right side of the body, and the right side of the brain by the left side of the body. So in other words, the right brain is nothing but, in Carl Jung's philosophy, anima, which is a woman in man, and the left brain is animus, which is a man in woman. Going forward, there is an image in his book where I'm explaining how this process is basically working. This image is a posterior view of the hemispheres of the brain and their relationship to the respiratory system. Breath coming in through the right nostril cools the right hemisphere of the brain, causing the left hemisphere to become active. Breath coming through the left has the opposite effect. This image is actually from an ad of Mercedes-Benz, which I got it from a blog article. Again, it shows that the right hemisphere is responsible for activities like creativity and painting, etc., while the left is responsible for analysis, logical thinking, calculation, and mathematics. The right brain, left brain theory grew out of the work of Roger W. Sperry, which was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1981. The book starts with the introduction. Breath is the physical counterpart of the mind. The mind uses the cerebral cortex of the brain, the twin hemispheres, as its tool. These two hemispheres coordinate with the entire organism through neuromotor responses. All neuromotor activities, all sensory and motor functions of the body are performed with the help of the breath. So breath is mind in action. Breath provides the pranic force to the organism. So though it's a small 78-page book, and it details when you can use which side of the nostril, etc., though that may be viewed as not really practical, yet you can really appreciate how to deploy this science for better practical use. Man's faculties of abstract thinking and his aspirations for the higher ideals of life, seated in the cerebral cortex, often conflict with his instinctive animal nature, seated in the lower brain. Through yoga, man can learn to master his lower brain and pursue higher ideals, to act in accordance with the law of universal good. While his animalistic nature makes man hedonistic and selfish, yogic training makes him selfless. Swara Yoga is the science of nasal breath. It has rightly been called the ancient technology of mind. Not a part of Hatha Yoga or other yogas, the science of Swara Yoga deals with the relationship between nasal breath and the subtle nerves of the body on one hand, and the cycles of the moon and the elements on the other. It studies nasal cycles, the nature of the breath flowing with the right and left nostrils. The teachings of Swara Yoga allow us to synchronize our breath, our life, with the universal rhythm of the moon. This alignment removes the effort and strain from our daily activities and brings good fortune, it reads. The founders of Swara Yoga were not familiar with the cerebral hemispheres, but they did work with the principle of bipolarity. The right side of the body being the masculine, solar principle or Shiva, and the left being the feminine, lunar principle or Shakti. Reaching into the depths of human behavior, they were able to ascertain which activities were best suited for right nasal dominance and which for left. By observing the direct effect of the moon on the breath, they discovered the sacred science of right living. The book offers methods for determining right left nostril dominance and for synchronizing the dominant nostril with specific activities of everyday life. There is a line here. If you want to alter an unwanted state, says Dr. Shanhoff Khalsa, just breathe through the more congested nostril. By altering the flow of nasal breath, the body chemistry gradually changes and unwanted emotional and psychological states slowly disappear. Swar Yoga can teach human beings the precise way of living peacefully as masters of their body and mind. It can enable them to become true instruments of consciousness. This book gives the reader a key for self-tuning the body-mind, with the body-mind itself as the tuning instrument. I'm just attaching this table which deals with the days, the cycle, directions dominated by the left and the right nostril and what it is suitable for. I found this particularly useful. Overall, it's a small book and it's a good read. It's practicable to implement, though it may be too detailed on certain aspects. It's available on the Kindle edition for around 200 to 250 rupees.